Holiday World is a park that has gained a reputation for its amazing collection of wooden roller coasters. But it has become much more than just its wooden coasters, with a well-rounded collection of flat and family rides, plus a massive water park included with admission. In this video, we will tell you everything you need to know before you visit this southern Indiana gem. They have 3 coasters that have all won numerous awards, but in 2006, Holiday World truly put themselves on the map for good when they hired Gravity Group to build Voyage, which has won the Golden Ticket Award for Best Wooden Coaster 5 times. The whole attraction is truly an experience. It lasts 90 seconds from first drop to brakes with almost 25 seconds of airtime. It is often described as 3 rides in one, with the out and back hyper section, the twister section, and the return trip back down the hillside. The first section consists of large camelbacks that deliver strong floater airtime for multiple seconds, like a hyper coaster. Then you fly through the Spaghetti Bowl, which has strong positive Gs, quick pops of airtime, and laterals. And finally, you return to the station back down the hillside, flying through twisted and banked elements that all have very strong airtime and throw you around in every single direction. Everything about this ride is perfect. It is intense, it has all kinds of forces, a great setting, and of course it is so long, but still has outstanding pacing. And even with its massive length at over 6,000 feet of track, Holiday World still does their best to maintain this coaster as well as possible to keep it smooth enough to be enjoyable. This is a destination coaster for anybody that likes roller coasters even a little bit. The park's only major steel coaster is Thunderbird, a B&M launched wing coaster. This is my favorite wing coaster in the US, and I've ridden all of them besides Rapterra at King's Dominion. The launch is decently forceful and you get that feeling of leaving your stomach behind on the launch track. Then the following Immelman is a massive and fun inversion. The rest of the layout features 3 more inversions, but also some standout non-inverting elements, which is kind of rare for a wing coaster. You fly through each of the high turns and inversions, and the ride ends with one of my favorite inversions on any coaster, the inline twist. The unique thing about Thunderbird is its pacing. None of the other wing coasters in America come close to this attraction in terms of pacing. It just seemingly flies from element to element a bit faster than the others. One thing I do suggest is getting multiple laps on Thunderbird while you're near it. This coaster is located in the very back of the park on a dead end with no other major attractions near it, so to maximize time, you don't want to be taking any more trips back there than necessary. Another one of Holiday World's coasters to win a Golden Ticket Award for Best Wooden Roller Coaster is Raven, which took home the title 4 times between 2000 and 2003. This coaster has a great terrain layout which delivers some good airtime moments, especially the 5th drop, which comes after Raven flies over Lake Rudolph, then turns back around towards the station. Then the track rises up and delivers a big drop with ejector airtime right in the middle of the layout. Though some call this element overrated, I think it is a phenomenal moment. The rest of the layout just generally feels out of control as you race along the terrain and through the woods of Holiday World. Raven is my second favorite of the wooden coasters at the park, behind Voyage but a little bit in front of Legend, which I will discuss next. However, many people prefer Legend, and I have them pretty close together. Overall, Raven is a very fun coaster with a great layout, which deserves all of the praise it gets. The last of the major coasters at Holiday World is Legend, another massive wooden coaster at the park which was built by Custom Coasters International. Legend has a 113-foot drop and a track length of over 4,000 feet, but what this coaster is really known for is the huge amount of lateral forces. In fact, many have crowned Legend as the king of laterals. The layout does feature some solid airtime moments, but the main focus of this coaster is throwing you into the side of the train relentlessly. The most memorable element of the layout is the massive unbanked helix which travels in and out of tunnels as it pins you to the side of the train. Legend is also a very long attraction, with almost 75 seconds of prime ride time. While I'm not the biggest fan of the layout personally, that is just a matter of personal preference. If you are a fan of coasters with lots of laterals rather than airtime, you will absolutely love this coaster. One new family coaster Holiday World added for 2024 is Good Gravy. This attraction is a Vekoma family boomerang model and is located past Voyage on the same path Thunderbird is located on, but still closer to the front of the park. While I haven't experienced a family boomerang yet, this has proven to be a good fit for the park with a very high level of popularity. Before this installation, they didn't really have a coaster to bridge the gap from Howler, which is basically a wacky worm, to their massive adult thrill coasters. As a result, this coaster draws some of the longest lines in the park. Finally, the last coaster at Holiday World is Howler, which, as I said earlier, is a kiddie coaster. Adults are allowed to ride for the credit, and as far as these coasters go, I don't think it was uncomfortable. I am quite tall, so I often have a pretty difficult time fitting in these small coasters when I ride them for the credit, but Howler wasn't too bad. One flat ride I definitely recommend experiencing at this park is Liberty Launch, which is an SNS shot tower located in the 4th of July section. It is only 70 feet tall, but gives ridiculously strong airtime when it reaches the top of the tower. For that reason, I highly recommend getting at least one ride on this attraction. This park is also more than just the wooden coasters. It has theming, a great atmosphere, and lots of amenities. One of my favorite amenities is the free drinks. Holiday World offers free fountain drinks with your admission. This is great, especially on a hot summer day, and almost no parks have this, so it is a fun treat. It is honestly pretty nice to be able to just grab some soda or Gatorade for a quick shot of sugar and energy. Also, Holiday World provides free sunscreen for all park visitors and free parking, which is usually at least $20 at any other park. The only thing I have to criticize Holiday World for is their operations. Before I visited this park, I'd heard many people praise their operations. However, I found them to be below average at best. Voyage had multiple 4-minute dispatches, but consistently was around 2.5 minutes. On Thunderbird, they were a bit better, usually around 90 seconds. The other major coasters, Legend and Raven, were about the same as Voyage. This led to wait times being decently long even though the park was pretty empty. The theming in this park is pretty solid. Obviously, it isn't going to be as elaborate and crazy as Disney or Universal, but for a small regional park, it is good. There are 4 different sections, each themed to a different holiday. You enter the park in the Christmas section and have the option to go to the Halloween or 4th of July sections. Then at the back of the park, and the best section for thrill rides and roller coasters, there's the Thanksgiving section. The theming gives the park a fun, charming, and unique atmosphere. Plus, celebrating Christmas in July is always a fun time. The food at Holiday World is alright, but they don't really have any unique foods compared to a park like Dollywood. I'd say the most unique food they have here is a Thanksgiving dinner, which you can buy for a meal. In addition, Santa's Merry Marketplace has lots of different options, from burgers to orange chicken, plus a lot of desserts and on-the-go snacks. This is located at the very front of the park and is the first building you see when you enter. Now I'm going to give you a couple more tips to help you have the best day at Holiday World. They will close their rides early, quite a bit before the listed park closing time. So if the park closes at 7 o'clock, they will close the queues for the most popular rides at around 6:30 to 6:40, so everybody is out of the queue and off the ride by around 7 o'clock. So make sure to get into line for your last ride a bit before closing time. At the beginning of the day, the park lets guests in early. However, they will block off the pathways to go further into the park where the rides are until the park actually opens. I would recommend getting to the park pretty early because people will gather in the section between the 2 sets of gates this park has, and it can get very crowded. Then, as I just mentioned, you can get into the park before the official opening time, but they rope off the pathways at 2 different spots. These spots are about equidistant from Voyage, so it doesn't really matter which one you go to. Once the rope drops, you should head straight to Voyage and get 2 laps on it. Then after that, I would recommend heading to Good Gravy to knock out that credit. That is an attraction which consistently has some of the longest lines in the park, so you want to get it out of the way early. After that, it is your choice on what to do next. Personally, I would head to Thunderbird because you are already quite close to it. Its line won't ever be too long because of its excellent capacity and location, so you can ride it whenever you want. But if you head there now, you will most likely be able to get 4 laps on it in 45 minutes or less. You should then head toward the 4th of July section and you can hit the park's dark ride, Gobbler Getaway, on the way there. That is another attraction which will see its line length balloon as the day goes on. Once in the 4th of July area, you can get on Howler for the credit and then ride Liberty Launch once or twice. Finally, you should head toward the Halloween section at the front of the park to get your laps in on Legend and Raven. The crowds should be mostly cleared out from the front at this point, so this is as short as the queues will get for the 2 smaller wooden coasters in the park. After this, you can make your own decisions on what you want to get re-rides on. Holiday World does not have an app to report ride wait times, so it can be a little tricky to make decisions to avoid lines, but as long as you know which attractions generally have the longest lines, you can still outmaneuver the crowds. Now, if you want to visit Holiday World's elite water park, Splashin Safari, you should do so right when it opens if possible. That area of the park gets very, very busy, so you want to beat the crowds in that area, especially if you plan on experiencing their water coasters, which are Wildebeest, Mammoth, and Cheetah Chase. This is a very highly rated water park and is often praised as the best in the country, which is included with dry park admission. In terms of where you should stay when visiting Holiday World, there aren't really too many options in Santa Claus, which is where the park is located, in terms of chain hotels. However, there are some nearby towns such as Tell City, which feature your normal Holiday Inn type chain hotels. In terms of local food options, I would highly recommend Los Amigos Mexican restaurant in Tell City. Or if you are in the mood for some pizza, check out S&S Barbecue and Pizza in Santa Claus. Overall, there's clearly a reason why so many enthusiasts love Holiday World. While it doesn't have the elite depth of other parks in the region, such as Kings Island, Cedar Point, or Six Flags Great America, it does have one of the world's greatest wooden coasters with Voyage. In addition, it has nice theming and a charming atmosphere and just an overall nice vibe. Add in the free amenities and you get a park that a lot of people find themselves coming back to year after year. If you're an enthusiast, this is a park you have to visit at least once. If you have any thoughts about this park or our video that you'd like to add, drop them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.